Welcome back, everybody. This is Brothermutant here. Today we're going to continue our journey on Darkest Dungeon. Took off from our last episode. We just got done freeing these goddamn bugs. They went everywhere. So now we're going to try to do some missions to see if we can't counter them. Now, we still have no... actually, let's not do that. We have no bleeds, or excuse me, no afflictions with the Crimson Curse. We got lucky. I forgot about that. So we don't have any real need for blood. That doesn't mean they're not going to show up eventually. If we did the winemaker's reserves, we activate them and we get actually blood pools, a little blood vials as an item that we can carry with us. Don't mean we won't get afflicted with the Crimson Curse while we're in this mission. We could get it anywhere we're at, as far as I know, even the farmstead for all I know. So while the farmstead does still look tempting to us, we'll probably pass on it. We did have a team selected. What does it look like we got here? We got Blight, which means we're probably going to do something up here. Oh, what we got? Short run. That'd be good for low level stuff. We don't want to do something as tough as the Cove. Remember, the Cove and the Warrens are pretty tough. Ruins and the Weald are the two easiest of those. Again, one's for Blight, one's for Bleeds, would be the Warrens and Weald. Blight would be Ruins and Cove. So we want to probably keep it to the Ruins with our team here. Now we have a medium one, which is Kill the Sonorous Prophet. And this guy's particularly tough if you don't have a good team to wail on the front two pews to like get him within range of a striking character. If you have all ranged abilities that can hit the back rank with all four of your characters, then by all means take out the Sonorous Prophet. The guy hits hard. If you don't guard teammates, which means having like something like a Man-at-Arms or a Houndsmaster, you have a lot of characters that are capable of protecting another teammate. And that is indispensable in something like the Sonorous Prophet fight. So let's actually do this short run first. Did we trink up? Looks like we did. We didn't for her because, again, she has natural. That don't mean that we won't put a trinket on her if we uncover one, but it has to be something where we need room in our inventory. So it looks like we're ready to rock and roll. Let's actually engage in this. Provision up. Since we don't have the best healer, we're going to take all the food, and of course it's the Ruins. There's very few chances to gain food while you're there. The Ruins has skeletons in it, right? So the things you want to remember for them, again, is bring keys, skeleton keys. You want holy water, and shovels to dig up the skeletons, right? Those would be the things that you really want to bring the most of. Torches, of course, are important, sure. And, you know, if we want to go torchless run and keep it in the dark where we get more treasure, that's a thing as well. No one's been afflicted with the curse, so we don't have to worry about taking blood with us right now. That doesn't mean we shouldn't take a vial with us. And if we don't use it, we get it back. We recoup it. If we do use it, well, all the better. If we throw it away, well, that's a problem. But if it's only one slot, we have a pretty good shot at being able to keep it. So let's see. So what do we have so far? We got our keys. We got our holy water. We got food. We got shovels, we got torches. So from that point on, everything else is like extras. Remember, she's capable of curing blights and bleeds with her heal ability here, battlefield medicine. So we really don't even need these except for possible curio interactions. So we'll just take a few on the off chance that they can come in handy. We'll take a laudanum, because why the heck not? That's for stress purposes. We got one of those. We really don't need for them yet. We don't have any shards to actually purchase any anyway. So we're good there. Question is do we want more of anything? I'd take one extra key just on the off chance that we get a secret room. I'd hate to miss out on really good treasure because we were missing out on a key. But with that, I think we got everything we need here. Let's see. So let's see. So we have... we're doing our best to keep our money tight, but we want to get our money up. We're doing well as far as progress of the game. Pretty happy for week 10. I mean, we're really doing really well for ourselves.
Pace out the halls of your lineage once familiar, now foreign.
No, we're trying to explore 90% of rooms, which means all but one. They usually round in this game. So if you have 9 rooms, you only need to do 2. Be aware that a hidden room counts as a room lit up. Take out the target in the back. This one will do 2 to 4 and do blight for 2 points. That's not very much. This is over. Yeah. Now they do okay damage. Kind of annoying that way. Gotta take them out with a blight. There we go. These guys hit when they do. They don't hit great. It's not ungodly damage. But we don't have a great healer necessarily. He's hit or miss. Right. This point.
Their formation is broken. Maintain the offensive.
Nothing I can do otherwise. Okay, she's dead. Go. And look at this.
Continue the onslaught.
Bye-bye.
Destroy them all.
All right. Pile of
A
cash.
full pack often attracts unwanted attention.
Whatever do you mean, Wayne? Here's the books, and usually the books suck. And they continue to suck. I can only drink in town. No scout. I can do this the hard way. Alright, now this is one with holy water. I like how they added the icon below it so you can know if you've inspected it once before with that item. You don't keep wasting your time like, did I was supposed to do that? Here, let me get it on Google and Wiki and find it for me.
In Radiance, may
sucks.
we find victory.
So that was a nice addition as far as I'm concerned. Pretty buffed up for no good reason. Thought might be a fight. I'm like, well, I don't want to have everybody bleeding. But it was unnecessary. So far we're not doing great on money on this run. But it's still early. Books again suck. We want to avoid books if we can help it. That light. Remember, I got a bunch of lobies. Their stress is pretty much going off the charts right now. She's, I think, the only one that's level 2. She's basically carrying the team.
If only treasure could staunch the flow of otherworldly corruption.
Alright, we have stress attacker here. We need to take her out if we can. Might as well disorient blast her. And just wail on her with every ability that we can. Okay. Kind of lackluster damage, I won't lie to you. She should do well with this. Point away, that sucks. And he can't do anything with her. We'll just wail on this guy.
Ringing ears, blurred vision. The end approaches.
She moves quickly, so we might not get the chance to attack her again before she gets a stress attack. Yeah, here it comes. Oh, Elder's pulled it. That ain't horrible. And we dodged it, so that worked out okay. Oh, leave her alone, you jerk. She's already bleeding.
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
Alright, for sure. Yeah, it looks like this guy to make him die quicker. That's it, I think.
Sedated.
That heal sounds freaky now. I could heal her again, but I don't really see a need to. Might as well break him down and take him out. Enough.
Death by inches.
Very nice. Alright. Just you and me, kid. Just you and me. Acid to the face. I like the new accuracy buff that they added to that. That's kind of sweet. Nice dodge. Especially the dodge of 2, man. I'm rocking that. Shadow Fade's a good ability, but it's not the greatest ability because you don't attack or anything. It used to stun, but it doesn't anymore. Alright, that's enough to put him down. And from there, we'll buff up, heal, and I'll just kind of like stall for a quick. Oh, that's her new ability, by the way. Aegis allows her to literally absorb 2 physical attacks. Not stress and not dots, but the initial damage spike that almost always follows an attack is completely ignored. Doesn't matter if it would have crit for 1,000 or if it crits for 1. She would literally absorb all of it, and she can do that 2 separate times before having to replenish that move. So it's a very nice. Let's heal. Alright, at this point, there's no reason not to just kill the guy. Oh, we can get another buff for a second. Might as well just let him bleed out. Or blight out. Buff up for a quick second. See what that looks like. This is the only character that I know that's capable on your team of making themselves stealthy. They only last for a round, but I remember that she can't be directly targeted because of that move. That's very cool. I wish they'd actually add that to the Antiquarian for her get down ability. I think that would be perfect sense to me. And to make the Antiquarian actually useful in a fight, as far as not getting immediately targeted and hit. Whatever.
The slow death.
Hoping for another heal, but that's
unforeseen. Unforgiving.
Right. Now again, we have choices here. We got plenty of money now going on for us. Well, not plenty of money. Is the 250 worth those? I don't think so. We could have gotten rid of the laudanum. I could have used, matter of fact, a couple of food. But whatever. You never know when you might need it. Right? Go. Scout. Come on. Yeah, Scout. Only reason I care is I don't want to miss a hidden room if at all possible. So now that Scout was good enough to get from here, here, all these. So if there was a hidden room, it would have been in this corridor, and I don't think we missed it. So sadly, that's okay. Oops. What are you doing? Oh, well, at least he's not keeping it. And at this point, I don't want the laudanum. I'm curious. I have to click it. Ooh, a map. Nope, nothing. Alright, we'll just let the dark go down a little bit. So if we want to scout the area, we already know that there's no bad guy here or here. So we can get all the way to here before we need to pop torches again. You'll see how much more we get with that curio, if assuming it's something that we can get a positive interaction from, something that's like a pack or a chest or something like that. And I do not believe darkness affects your ability to disarm traps. That would be a nice addition, I think. The darker it is, the harder it is to disarm, but I don't think they're going to make that addition. Alright, we have a chance for some decent treasure here. Light's pretty low, and you see how our loot is up with a plus. What we get? Ooh, a rocking two things, huh? Alright, well at this point I am ready to get food though. Why waste treasure when you don't have to, right? Two stress dealers. This could be a problem. Oh, that's a real problem. Alright. This is why these two work so well together. Well, let's do still extra AoE.
Slowly.
That's pretty.
Gently.
If I wanted to hit those guys, he had the ability to do so with his missile artillery. That usually is enough with the blighter here to do a really good damage to take him out in 1 to 2 rounds, if you get lucky. But as you see, these guys are already taken care of, so at this point, what we really want to do is heal them. Alright, slide forward. It's not an attack, but again, it gives us that guard that allows us to maybe take a hit or two for her. See, the great thing about her is this pick to the face move. Notice how it's armor piercing. So that 25 protection, I don't think that works for this character. Yeah, doesn't matter what their protection is, she still does the same amount of 4 to 7. So it really is a great move for taking out the protected enemies. And those are enemies in the cove as well. So it's a really good move and a good character to take to the cove. Light ability to pierce armor. She does really well there. And you'd probably bring in this character as well. So ability to heal, even if it's a minor amount, keeps them off at death state. There's a full block of damage. Very nice. At this point, I'm going to continue to waylay this guy. Accuracy buff for myself, just in case I need it. Everybody's topped off. Everybody's topped off. Nobody's topped off.
Devastating blow.
Crit for some stress relief. Nice.
Great is the weapon that cuts on its own.
Stress. Alright, what do we got here? Damage melee skills. Decreases healing, not even worth it. It would be something that I'd sell. So, let's see.
As the light gains purchase, spirits are lifted.
Oh, I might as well finish the fight and then we'll
purpose
come
is
back
made
down and
clear.
get the treasure there. We'll finish this off. I could have easily gone here.
A handsome reward for a task well performed.
Could have easily gone south and got the easy way without this fight. But fights usually mean treasure, so I figured why the hell. Might as well make some money.
Back to the pit.
I get. Spider's gone.
Press
Maggots are still of
disadvantage.
concern.
Give them no
Great
quarter.
Nibble can do things like this, I think. Well, they're not the scariest of scary. And again, notice I was rocking the minus bleed skill chance trinket for this guy.
Success so clearly in view. Or is it merely a trick of the light?
As much as I'd like that money, I'd rather keep my stuff down here on the off chance I need it to unlock whatever that curio is. So that curio could give me a lot more than 175. So I don't know what it'd be, and my luck is if I threw away the holy water, I'd need that. If I threw away the bandages, I'd need that, and etc. and so forth. So we might as well play it safe. Something stupid like books, isn't it? Ah, see, something stupid like books. Unsettling. That's stress. Let's see. Let's relieve some stress with a little lock picking, I believe. Disarm trap. Alright. And that's it. Easy peasy, pumpkin squeezy.
The great ruins belong to us. And we will find whatever
Total amount
secrets
of
they
money that I was hoping
hold.
for, but we got a trinket or two, so in the grand scheme of things, I'm pretty happy with that. At least I can sell them if I don't want them. Did okay with some heirlooms, nothing stellar, but it was an easy mission and I wanted to get some zeros up to level 1, which I did. So what do we get for Quartz? Mankind Hater, love that. Gifted. Healing received, she could totally use that. Daredevil. Dodge if hit bits, hook points of this character get below 25%. That's not bad neither. Just worry about things like your blights and your bleeds, because those still suck.
The degeneracy of the hamlet is nothing, I fear, when compared to the condition of surrounding acres.
So we got our first blueprint. So this allows us to actually make district buildings. Let's show you what those are real quick. If you go down here, this is where your district occurs. And they've added new ones. Let's go to the old ones first. We'll skip past these. This one here is the first, original one, Red Hook, and the ones to the right. Red Hook is completely useless. It doesn't do you no good. It is bragging rights only. Look how much it costs you. 750 crests, one blueprint, which we do have, and 50,000 gold, which is a ridiculous amount of money to expect someone to pay for something that does nothing. The bank is the first one I wanted to get. It takes 50 portraits, so be wary. You're going to have to start farming for those things, because it takes a while to get 50, and 15,000 gold to boot, plus our one blueprint, which you can see again up here. Cartographer's Camp, torchlight is more beneficial. This is extremely vague. It used to be that people thought that that just meant that when you kicked off a torch, instead of getting 25% torchlight each time, you got slightly more than that, which seemed lame sauce. Turns out the benefit is actually in getting treasure and surprising enemies and all that good jazz. So it's actually quite useful. Not something I'm going to invest 300 crests for at the beginning. There's other ones that I'll have that will use crests, and I'd rather use that on that. The granary one's kind of odd. Free food every time you go out, it's something you don't have to buy, and the healing you get from eating the food actually is better, so that's kind of nice, I suppose, especially since they round up for healing. So if it would only heal you of 1, I want to say you would always heal for 2 for eating a piece of food at that point, because it's 15% more. Puppet Theater, stress relief in town, so everybody's stress goes down even if they're not in a stress relief building. Their stress relief will go down 10 per week more. So it does go down naturally, I think like 5 to 10 each week anyway. So this will actually add to that. So these numbers really start to peel off them, and you don't have to really pay them to take their stress away. So that's been kind of useful, I can see that. Sanguine Vintners, if you start having a lot that are cursed with the Crimson Curse, they need blood to survive, randomly rolled and checked against. And if you don't have enough blood, they start dying on you, and there's nothing you can do about it. If you get the Sanguine Vintners, every week you generate 2 bottles of blood, 2 vials of blood. so you don't have to go farming for blood like I would. You just generate it naturally. You eat so much blood at this point you just can't stand it. So this is not a bad one to get either. Then you got ones that actually buff your various character classes. So bounty hunters, grave robbers, and highwaymen get, if you activate the House of the Yellow Hand, they get an increase to their crit chance by 5%, which is a pretty huge increase. And 5% scouting chance, which is kind of lame sauce. But it's better than 0, so I suppose I'll take it. But better than that, you have this one here for Crusader, Vessel, and Flagellants. They get a stun resist. You don't want your healers getting stunned, because then they can't heal, do their job to keep people off death's door. And they also get a healing skill bump, so their healing chance, their percentage goes up by 10%. That's a nice one, but it costs a lot of deeds. Training ring. Arbalist, Houndmaster, Man-at-Arms, Shieldbreaker, and Musketeer. Remember, Arbalist and Musketeer are basically the same character. It's just a reskin of the Arbalist. They get a permanent +4 to their accuracy, and they get a +10% to their max HP, which is extremely helpful, especially for someone like the Man-at-Arms or the Shieldbreaker, who are usually up front anyway. Extremely helpful. And the Houndmaster can use that accuracy as well as hit points, because not only do they attack at range and they have AoE attacks, they also have the ability to self-heal, so that extra hit points come in super handy. Keep them in good standing. Athenium, I'm going to say that wrong, I'm sure. Athenium here is basically kind of like a Colosseum. It's Antiquarian, Occultist, and Plague Doctor. Well, this has got to be like a not a Colosseum, more like a, I don't want to say, like when all the doctors get together and they're all like in that big huge room in the big circle, and there's the one main doctor on the shop floor and he's like showing you how to dissect a body, kind of like that. So this is basically training for those types of characters. So the Antiquarian, Occultist, and Plague Doctor benefit from this, so their blight skill chance goes up when these two characters blight, not the Occultist, but the Plague Doctor and the Antiquarian both blight. The debuff skill chance should be probably all of them. And here's a cool part. Knowledge Curios heal 15 stress. So those are like books on shelves, stuff that would normally suck anyway. This will automatically, if those characters are using it, will allow them to heal stress every time they interact with them. So that's kind of cool. And the Antiquarian would be great for that, because you're going to want them clicking on stuff all the time anyway. Performance Hall. This one's just for the Jester. He has a 10% stress buff. That's for any incoming stress, it goes down by 10%. He has a +2 to his speed permanently. And his finale move gets a +20% damage bump right out the gate. And while that's not anything to write home about, those stack with almost every move he casts. He gets a finale plus damage bump. So if you do that enough times, his plus damage can be pretty darn high, and that extra 20% adds to it. That's kind of nice. And I can get that one right now. I'm not going to, because we don't really use that move all that much, but it's still there, and it's kind of cool. Now the Outsider's Bonfire. This one's kind of weird. And I've yet to decide if I think it's worth it or not, because it's, again, a lot of crest. You get 2 additional respite points if you have at least 1 Abomination, Hellion, or Leper in the party. And I would have at least a Leper anytime I do those farmstead missions now. And you can camp in some of them, so you will get your own built-in bonfires throughout the mission. Those 2 additional respite points, those are the points that you burn after you eat your food. And you have 12 points, well now you'd have 14 if you had one of those 3 characters on your party. 14 don't sound like much compared to 12, but you'd be surprised how often you click all the stuff you want to click, you have 1 point left. 1 point's pretty much useless in almost every case, but 3 points on the other hand, you can almost always find somebody that could, oh, well, that's a self-buff or a stress relief. So extremely useful. Now again, I can totally get the Performance Hall now, I'm not going to. I will probably save up for the one that I want the most right now, and that's going to be here, our bank. And again, Red Hook on to the right is all the old ones. And old being a nondescript term. It was the first time that they unleashed these districts. This was when they added. This was not at the start of the game. So this is, again, new-ish content. All these ones to the left are the newest content now with the farmstead. Notice how they're using things like memories or crystals. These are memories, and it takes a lot to get them. Or the crystals are these ones here. And again, these are kind of interesting too, the mill being particularly interesting. Heroes will no longer suffer random hunger checks. If you unlock this thing, you don't have to take food with you at all in a mission if you don't want to. There will never be a hunger check, and you can just self-heal your team as long as you have that ability. You don't need to eat food. That's pretty sweet. So no food, save slots, and take back more gold that way. Kind of nice, and save on money. I can totally see that. Or taking like a stack of food instead of 2, just in case you need to randomly heal up the character. But you never have to worry about, well, gee, should I really save 4 pieces of food for my... Nope, don't have to. No hunger checks. Very cool. Takes a lot of time to get those 10 memories from what I understand, though. Geological Study Hall, gem inventory stacking increased by 1. While that don't sound stellar, we're talking things like jade. We're talking jacinth. We're talking obsidian. We're talking emeralds, rubies. We're talking sapphires. And here's where it gets really cool. Those ginormous gemstones that you pick up in the secret room, usually if you get it, you turn the lights down all the way and you use a key to unlock it. You can get up to 3 of those stones. Those stones are so big, the only one fit in a slot. Well, that sucks. So you don't really have a lot of room, and you are now forced to choose 3 different things to probably delete, which usually includes treasure. Now you can stack them to at least 2 high. It's not great, but it's better than not stacking them at all, and that's pretty cool. So that's a good way for you to make some money. I can see that being useful. Tainted Well, Miasmal Orchard, and these ones basically have similar effects. The stuff like holy water, medicinal herbs, laudanum, and anti-venom have specific effects right now. Anti-venom removes blight. Medicinal herbs removes debuffs. Laudanum again produces or takes away the horror of the stress. That little weird icon that is like a stress dot, stress over time move. And holy water buffs you and protects you from various things. These 2 things will increase either the buffs, like it is with holy water, or add a buff. In this case, a stress resistance buff with laudanum, which is extremely nice. Medicinal herbs has a disease resist buff, and anti-venom has a blight resist buff. I'm surprised that they didn't add a bandage in this one, specifically for like bleed resist buffs or something like that. I don't know. Guess it's kind of weird to expect that to be a thing, but that's the one thing that seems to be omitted from this list, but whatever. But definitely cool and stuff to shoot for. Before we head out, let's take a look at our party here. Do we have anybody we really must have? Sort by class. I have Houndmaster, Flagellant, and a Hellion. I think I got all those characters right now. Flagellant. There's a Houndmaster. Do I have a Hellion? I do not have a Hellion. Let's take a look at her and prove it to myself once more. Let's look at her just to see what she has to offer. She has a unique quirk. Ignore stealth. Oh, that's kind of sweet. And I don't know that that's locked in, or if that's something you can lock in. But that would be something you'd want to invest in. Because this means this character can guarantee, as long as they have the ability to hit the character in that position, 1, 2, 3, or 4, she can hit them. Doesn't matter if they're stealth or not. And that might mean she can finish them off before they do stuff to your characters. That's kind of cool. The only other way around that is to do AoE damage, which she has that ability in Breakthrough, but it's not the best one, especially if they're in position 4. She can't hit that one with this move. She can hit with this move, and that would be really nice to be able to finish that stealth character right off the first bat. Those guys usually crit and do a lot of damage to your team until they come out of stealth, and usually give them 2 rounds of stealth, which really, really sucks. So this is not a bad character to have. The germaphobe part kind of sucks in that she takes an accuracy decrease if the character has been blighted. The enemy has been blighted. But she's a bleeding type character, right? She has a lot of moves that bleed out characters. She would be more likely to be on a team that does bleeds, not blights. So this is not as bad as it looks. I'd like to get rid of it, sure. And the healing received, this one infirm, that kind of sucks because her healing is kind of lame. And she's usually the type of character that you want to have in position 1. She's going to get targeted. She has low dodge, she has low hit points. She's not the best then as a result of this infirm, but she's definitely worth taking.
Barbaric rage and unrelenting savagery make for a powerful ally.
Alright, now with that, let's see if there's anything else we can do before we bolt. Okay. So, well, first let's do by stress. Is there anybody that, yeah, she really kind of needs to take a nap. Hey, sweetie, how you doing? First, let's make sure she doesn't do anything stupid. Deviant taste and risk taker. I don't think peaceful meditation is going to mess with her deviant taste, so I'm okay with putting her here. From there, yeah, I'm not wasting that much money on her. We don't have that much to spare. We are saving for that bank. That's going to take 15 grand just to purchase the bank. From there, that 5% of anything you basically leave behind when you go into a mission, you come back from that mission, you get 5% more gold just added to it. So you really start stockpiling gold really, really fast, especially when you start getting into the 20s and 30,000 and more. You get 100,000 gold and change. And like every time you come back from the mission, doesn't matter how well you did, you still got like 5 grand waiting for you back home. It's kind of sweet. But let's see here. What kind of team can we put together? We don't have enough level 3s to warrant a level 3 attack. Let's see if we got someone that can do this Sonorous Prophet fight. He's a jerk, and again, we want damage. We want to be able to hit the back rank, position 4, or take out position 1, which is a pew, killing it. And then he would slide into position 3, and then we could have probably a little more access to characters like him, targeting him. Oh, we could take the leper. The leper would do damage to that pew up front real quick, but he's going to be useless at taking out the Sonorous Prophet until he got literally a couple pews down. That's unlikely. We could shoot the leper, or the Sonorous Prophet from range, but again, there's only a couple good characters for that, and this Sonorous Prophet, he likes to target people by dropping rubble on their head. So we're clearly not fighting that guy. He's tough. We'll wait till we have level 2 characters and have a good dedicated healer for that. Maybe a Plague Doctor that can remove Blight. That could come in handy too. But from there, let's see. We have level 2s. We don't want to get the level 1s up, obviously. From there, that's level 3. Coves are tough and way above our league right now, level 3. These ones are rough still. We're looking for portraits. This would probably be the one I'd want to do, right? Yeah. If we're going to do anything, it'd be the one that will give us portraits, because these ones aren't really going to squat, do we? Not anything that we can capitalize on right now. This one looks all sexy and stuff, but because of that much money and whatever else it gives you. But we don't have a level 3. You never complete this. Usually, I should say, you never complete this in the first round. You go in multiple times into this mission to beat the guy. You unlock this massive map. You finally get your way through it, and then you finally leave, come back again, and go and kick the guy's butt. So this one's tough. This will probably be the one that I go for, just because it's giving us 2 portrait choices. So if this is the team we're putting together, we want stuff that does bleeds. And we have level 2s and lower. She does bleeds, we'll take her. He does bleeds, we'll take him. The level 0, I'm well aware. We have a healer that's almost level 2, so we probably want to get her up anyway. We could take him here and him there, and he does bleeds at range, which is also extremely nice. This is not the best team ever, but he has the ability to heal himself, and one of the team, if he's super low on health, he's capable of healing as well, which isn't great, but it's better than nothing. She can heal herself if I unlock it, but she has some really good moves for hitting positions in the far back, the front, double stun up front. He has a stun move, but we're not going to use it. He has a couple of bleed moves and the guard ability, which we'll probably be happy to have. And she'll be our basic healer kit. So we're pretty much happy with her. If I were to change this up a little bit, I might take him. The only reason I almost don't want to take him, and this is a bad reason for it, is he's a stress healer, and I'd like to keep him in the low level stuff in case we need to do a low level mission where we peel some stress off the team. Because he's a stress healer, so is Renal. Renal's already a level 3. He's almost level 3. Maybe we're stuck in the same level, so to speak. The only other person here that's a stress healer is this guy, because of this. And it's only a chance for stress healing. It's a AoE stress heal, so it can heal any to all of the team of stress or nobody. And it's very low. So it's kind of like, eh. From there, you almost would just be better off having characters that have high crit chances, because they would heal their own stress because of the high crit moves. Other than that, oh yeah, he doesn't have a stress heal move per se. He can takes stress off of a target, one of his teammates. In this case, he takes off 10, but then he adds 10 to himself. So you're just shifting the stress, is what you're doing. If you level this up, I want to say eventually it gets to the point where you're healing more stress than you're pulling into yourself, but you're still pulling it into this character, guaranteed. So you'd almost have to keep him at low stress to have him help successfully pull stress off of another character. It can be useful in making sure that the stress doesn't literally get to a maximum where they stress out and, you know, cause a problem at 100% stress, but it's not something you're going to really rely a whole hell of a lot on. You're better off attacking. So, by and large, he's not a stress healer as far as I'm concerned. It's pretty much him, Renaud, as far as teammate help. Him, the Jester, the Crusader, and the Houndmaster. So, if it's not for those three guys, you probably don't have a whole hell of a lot of stress healing. There's characters that can stress heal themselves and themselves only. Enter things like the Abomination, who can heal and stress heal in this move, or the Leper, who can heal and stress heal with this move. Again, just themselves. There's probably another one in here I'm just forgetting about, but I think that's about it. And that's about all you get. So, with that though, I'm going to take the trinkets off everybody. I'm not going to trink up now because I'll just save that for the next time. With that though, my name's Brothermutant. Please like, subscribe, comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye now.